Hello and welcome back to Nedbank Pitch and Polish. I'm your host, Subi Moya Arnold. Tonight, we're kicking off round 2, where the pitches are hopefully getting sharper. The competition is definitely getting tougher and the stakes are higher than ever as our contestants get one step closer to that first prize with $1 million. Let's get into it. We've got 8 entrepreneurs left standing, each with a chance to walk away with 650,000 Rand in cash and a bursary worth 350,000 Rand for our Raise Corp incubation program to help them grow a profitable, more sustainable business. They're all impressive entrepreneurs, but by now you probably have a favorite contestant. And we'd love you to head over to our social media channels and let us know which entrepreneur you think stands the best chance of winning Nedbank Pitch and Polish 2025. So tonight's episode starts a little differently. Before we get to the pitches, we're going to hear from one of our judges. Over to you, Elon.
Welcome, contestants.
Hi.
Right, so you're all entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
And you know this journey has twists and turns.
Yes.
Yeah. Some days you wake up and you think you're going to win that deal, and you don't. And sometimes you wake up in the morning thinking, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And you get that phone call or you get that email and you remember why you're doing what you're doing. You know the feeling, right?
Yes.
That the rand collapsed or the rand strengthened, and you have to just deal with what happens in a day. So today we're going to have one of those twists for you to see how you handle today. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to choose 4 of you. The way that we chose the 4 of you is based on your scores over the last round. When I call your name, you're going to walk up to the bowl. You're going to randomly choose one piece of paper in that bowl. On that piece of paper is the name of the person that you will be competing with. You will look at that. You will show me the name, so I know who you're going to be competing with in this round. Then you will step back to where you were. And then I will call the second person and the third person and the fourth person. Are we all in understanding? Great. So the first person to choose their opponent is going to be Cate. Cate, can you step forward? Choose one randomly. All right.
Tshitso and Calcutta.
Ah, Snake Nation, you've got competition. Thank you. You may return. Right, the next person to choose is Nontsikelelo.
Prudence.
Why? Oh no, are you scared?
I love her.
Are you saying you're going to win?
No! I just mean, I hope that both go through. So.
But that cannot happen. So that's Kitchen Wrap Company. You may return. Right. Next to choose is Orion.
Okay. Same industry. Vanessa Sneeman.
Ah, same
Yeah.
industry.
Same-
Different part of it, though.
Different value proposition, but same industry.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
You may return. And then finally, Memphis.
Blessings Sithole.
Okay, so Baker's Creations. You may return. Okay, now we have our next round set up. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for the next round. I hope you took all the advice that came from both your guides and from the judges, and we are now ready to compete. You may leave.
Okay.
Thank you.
As Alon says, the entrepreneurial journey is full of twists and turns, and personally, I think he quite enjoys throwing these little curveballs into the mix so he can see how well the contestants handle them. It's a good indication of how they'll handle the uncertainty that comes with entrepreneurship. Now, before we get into the pitches, I want to take a moment to thank our amazing sponsors. Our title sponsor, Nedbank, who champions South Africa's entrepreneurs at every turn. Raise Corp, whose mentorship transforms smart ideas into impactful businesses. And the Business Exchange, who provides hundreds of entrepreneurs around South Africa with flexible, professional, and fully serviced workspaces. Now, because this is round 2, our contestants have 2 minutes to pitch instead of the 90 seconds they had in round 1. The first contestant we'll be hearing from tonight is Cate from Akani Paints. Let's see if she took the judges' feedback from the last round on board.
Hello, Cate. Right, so you understand that you have 2 minutes to pitch today. Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pitch and polish.
Have you ever wondered how many graduates or unemployed in our communities? At Akani Paints, we are not just manufacturers, but we are also creating opportunities to our rural communities. Hi, I'm Cate Oliphant. I'm the founder and CEO of Akani Paints. Akani Paints is a paint manufacturing business, which we also do more into training. What I can say, what is unique about Akani Paints, we are training accredited. We are also ISO 9001 certified. At Akani Paints, currently we've been implementing the systems, and with these systems we also implemented in our 2 shops, which are in Zanini and also in Thohoyandou. At Akani Paints, what is also good about us is we are more into rural based. Our communities, or maybe let me say our target market, are more into semi-rural and also into semi-urban areas. Why we need this 650,000 is more into expand into our business and also to make sure that we open an additional shop. 20% it will be definitely into our marketing and also our more into getting more accredited qualifications. Currently, what I can say about Akani Paints is our annual turnover has increased into 15% and our GP margins is at 52%. And what I can say about the rest, about the 50% of the money, it will also be invested into the additional distribution shop, which we also want to implement in Mpumalanga. And another thing what I want to say about this is when we get this, the most important thing for Akani Paints, because of we're also in the training space, we also want to get into this program, the Race Corp program, so that we can learn more about SMME development. I thank you.
All right, Cate, good timing there. All right, let's start with you, Monique.
Hi, Cate. Lovely to see you again.
Good morning.
Tell me a little bit more about these training programs that you are running. Are you taking unemployed youth to become self-sustainable, so to be employed, or is it for them to actually start distribution networks for you?
For this one, currently I've got this, it's a grant, but it's from the chemical sector. Mainly they gave me for the SMME development. So with this SMME development, most of them, some of them, they've already on the SMME space because of it's more into rural, but they have no idea. They just opened the CKs, and some are graduates, but they've got no chemical, because of that era, they don't have opportunities of chemicals. So basically, when I do this proposal, it was mainly to take those SMMEs, incubate them. It might not only into the paint, but also into the chemical manufacturing, the cleaning detergents, so that they can start their small businesses. So mainly for that grant, it was to assist them. They'll be having the stipend, it's more into the stipend program.
And
So
how
it's
does
to
that
make sure that
benefit you?
they sustain themselves.
And how does that benefit you as an organization?
It will also benefit me because of when they're there. Hence, I'm saying the Akani Paints is also growing. And in future, I really want to, to franchise the business. So for me, I saw it as an opportunity that, if then I start this SMME program and I'll be able to have a package of some sort. Hence, I've said we've just successfully implemented the systems so that I'm trying to test it, especially on both shops and also in my production area, to see how it's going to work for me because of my 3-year goal is to franchise the business on its own.
And then just last question. So have you done a break-even analysis per product line and how do you make sure that you are, and how often do you revise it, for instance, to make sure that you're competitive?
Absolutely, especially my PVA contractors and this new product, my rubberized one. So that one is got break even. And again, especially when I start now with these new SMMEs, they also need to know which product is selling. So currently already I know that area, which products are moving.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Nkabela?
Hi, Kate. I've got a couple of questions for you. The first one is, you say that your business is growing,
Yes.
for which I want to congratulate you. But
Thank
can you
you.
tell me what is the key driver of your business growth?
I think it's the area that I'm in, the opportunities are still there. Competition is still a little bit minimal because of you don't have enough paint manufacturers, unlike here in Gauteng. So what I would say the key drivers is for me giving the customers what they want, because of in most cases they paint, they get it into their hardware, but when they come to Akani Paints, they can personalize the colors that they want. We don't have enough that kind of resources, unlike with our big retail stores here in Gauteng.
Okay.
So what also drives me is also the more into the government infrastructure projects which are coming, and it also pushes me to be more closer with our local chiefs, our councillors, and our project managers for those projects. So as a local, I stand a chance of driving me to push even harder in order for me to get into the space.
And of your products, how many paint products do you have?
Currently, I've got 6 products.
6. And which one is the most profitable, or which ones are the most profitable?
I've got 2 products which are more profitable. It's my rubberized one and my roof paint is more profitable.
And how much of your business are those?
Currently, my turnover is at 2.9, let me say 3 million.
And the rubberized paint and the profitable lines,
Okay,
how much? Yeah.
Okay, I would say out of 100, my rubberized, it takes about 22% when we do it. It was more into 22%, and my roof paint, it was almost only 29 to 30%.
Okay, that's great. Okay,
Yeah.
so your most profitable lines are also taking up the lion's share of your
Absolutely.
contributing on your.
Yeah.
Okay, then my last question is: can you just tell us again what you're going to do with the 650,000 rands?
Okay. 50% of this 650,000, it will go into establishing a new retail shop, because of, as I've said already, I've got 2 shops, and the third one, it will be in Akonuk in Mpumalanga. So mainly for this 350 to establish a new shop, and for the 30%, I really want to invest on my lab equipment, because of now when I get also the intense, the chemical graduates, and paint needs to be tested. So I need to move with time and get more technological, more advanced equipment. And the remaining 20%, definitely it will go into my marketing, because of even with this new shop, I will need some boards, and I will also need to, I really need more accredited, especially when it comes to trade. Painting is a trade on its own. So, but there are other qualifications which I need, the lab analyst and also the quality controllers and quality assurers.
Thank you.
Kate, I'm a little confused. I want to pick up where Monique left off around the training. I'm trying to see the benefit to your organization. It feels like a distraction, and perhaps I'm a bit cynical in how I'm saying this, but it's just another way to fund your business by getting government grants for other people. And I don't see how you're using that effectively to advance your business.
Okay. With these learners, okay, let me talk specifically with the previous learners, but it was more into an internships, those that have already graduated. I was using them also to market my products, put them that, what, even if you are more into chemical engineers, some they had even masters because of they didn't have the workplace, they needed the workplace experience. As I take this opportunity that, as a chemical engineer, when you've produced a product, you need to sell it. So I was using them as well to go out there and sell Akani paints. I think that's where this whole thing of me starting to franchise the business came in, even though some, they were a little bit reluctant that, is an expensive business to run. And it's very competitive, let me be honest, it's hard. It's not a business that in 5 years time or 10 years you talk about high margins in profit. It takes time, and it's got a lot of research, especially when it comes to your product.
Okay, Cate, I think we've got enough. You may leave. Thank you. All right, so what did you think?
Okay, I thought she seemed a bit nervous. She started off quite nervously, you could tell. But I actually thought, she seems to know her business quite well. She knows which lines are the most profitable. I like the fact that, she contradicted herself a little bit. She started by saying her business is growing because there's not much competition. Then at the end, she said, actually, it's very competitive. So I'm not quite sure. But I think that one of the things that's contributing to the growth of her business is the very good community and stakeholder acceptance of her product. I think it's got a lot to do with the fact, that she's integrated these young people, youth unemployed people, and the relationship she's built with the stakeholders. And so she's cultivating that market opportunity. So but she didn't articulate that strongly, but I think it is, one of the biggest contributors to her growth. But I don't know if she's validated that opportunity clearly enough and is going to. I think she intuitively maybe knows it, but I don't know how, or rather that she just didn't communicate it. But I liked her. She thought she's poised. I think she knows her business. She knows where her profits are coming from. And I actually quite like that she is using local young unemployed people, training them. And potentially considering franchising opportunities, for them later on.
Okay, your thoughts?
I also agree. She definitely knows her business. It's been a long road for her, and that comes through. That you always mention a lot about the blue heart entrepreneur. You can see she's just been one of those kind of entrepreneurs. What concerns me is that the youth unemployment, yes, is a problem, especially with graduates, and it's a very noble thing to say, I'm bringing in these youth as interns, but why they're there and what they're going to actually do and contribute to the business, I'm not getting as yet. Is it, like you say, is it a funding injection, or is it actually that it's going to contribute to her expansion? So it's a little bit fuzzy, and I think it's a nice term to be bandied out, but I think she needs to think about it more.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment, and I think we were both going down that line. Is that, and I think it took too much of her pitch. I think her pitch was so emphasized on the youth and the training, and not on the business. And I think she did herself a big disservice in that.
But you see, because she even starts out her pitch by saying, have you ever thought about youth unemployment?
Yeah.
See, I think the reason she did that is because that's what's working. That's what's helping her drive sales and grow her business. When she goes to customers and says, I'm not just selling paint, but I'm also training young people and employing young people, it increases the appeal of her business.
Maybe to
That-
government, but certainly
Yes,
not
but she
to,
did talk about government a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
and
yeah.
contractors or whatever. Yeah. And if she doesn't have to pay for them, if she's getting grants for them and stipends, I mean, I think that's a good strategy.
But
But-
if there's a flywheel effect, if it's impacting a business positively, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she connected as well as she should have. So to your point, if government is her market, and this is what endears government to using her product,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then she should have connected it for us.
Yeah. She
Right.
should have said government is 30% of my or 50% of my business, and that's where I see the biggest growth.
Yeah.
So this is a key part. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. That's
Yeah.
what I
She's
said.
already got
I
a
think she's
differentiating
intuitive.
product. That rubberized paint is already a differentiating product. And where she's based with the humidity, it's already a differentiating. So she's got that from a product perspective. I think she just needs to tie this piece tighter together in terms of it.
Let's get scoring.
So you were talking to yourself after your pitch of round 2, and you were saying, "Eish man, pitching is ... Finish off your own sentence.
Oh, the pitching is coming, and you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna go for it.
How did it feel out there? So this round, it's a 2-minute pitch. How are you feeling, Kate?
Honestly, for this one, because I was the first, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But with the question side,
Yeah.
I really, relaxed and just be myself.
What was the difference between round 1 and round 2 with regards to delivery, pitch yako?
I think with the round 1, I was not aware it was the first time.
Yeah.
But with round 2, I was more relaxed compared to round 1.
I love it. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Going for the Pambili.
Thank you.
Wow. That was a strong opening sentence, and her timing was spot on, wasn't it? If you remember her round 1 pitch, the judges were impressed by the innovation behind Kate's products, but today she spent most of her time focusing on the youth unemployment side of things. Will this count against her in the elimination? We'll find out later tonight. But next, we'll hear from the duo behind Snake Nation. Over to you, Tshitso and Karl.
Tshitso, Karl, welcome.
Thank you.
Are you ready to pitch?
Yes, we are.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Greetings, judges. My name is Tshitso Msuludi, African Director and co-founder of Snake Nation.
And I'm Carl Carter, CEO and founder of Snake Nation.
As technologists and creatives with over 20 years experience, we are at the forefront of a $2.2 trillion creative economy, projected to create over 20 million jobs for African creatives by 2030. Snake Nation uses this model to basically create jobs, and then as Snake Nation,
So,
Snake Nation's model, my goodness,
so
Just breathe.
Snake Nation uses the model to create jobs for creatives.
So we have a decentralized studio model. We work with our local community that we've built over years. We equip them with the tools, the platform, and then we also do partnerships with stakeholders, key stakeholders and brands, governments, banks, to push opportunities for the creators to respond to. We then pay those creators directly to their wallet, regardless of their location or banking status. Our goal is audacious, no creator left behind.
We have good traction to date. We've started Snake Nation's creative societies in university campuses, covering Southern Africa and East Africa. We have
About
16,000 transactions to date, and then we have reached 400,000 students on campuses. And then we also have reached 6 million young people through our campaigns, creating a new way to to pay creatives.
Yeah. Our use of funds is straightforward. We're on a drive growth. So about 40% towards the building of the app, 30%.
You can finish that sentence.
Okay. 30% going towards the construction of studios on campuses, and another 30% for sales and marketing.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to questions starting with you, Nkubela.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tshitso and Karl. Very innovative business.
Thank you.
But explain to me again, what is the problem you're solving?
Absolutely.
Really, I can see the impact you're reaching many people, but what is the problem you're solving, and what is the lasting impact of your business?
Well, Africa has a lower share of GDP coming from the creative economy. And so we see the need for that creative economy growth to also fuel and address youth unemployment and poverty. So how do we have more creators enter the creative economy? And how do we make sure that regardless of their banking status or location, we should be able to deliver payments to them for their work?
And what is the biggest risk that your business is facing?
The biggest risk?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting question. So biggest risk, at least that we've experienced to date, you have competitors, obviously, but then there's, pretty substantial regulatory, rules that we have to apply to. So we have to address that via partnerships. And so in order to deal with the regulatory risk, we're picking up local payment partners that are licensed. So that's a big risk that we're mitigating through partnerships.
Thank you.
Monique?
So, Carl, I have noticed that you've invested a sizable amount in the business, which is great because that shows skin in the game.
Yes.
But I'd really like to understand, as founders, what is a day in the life of your business? Who does what?
Okay. Should we just with us here or the broader team?
Just you two.
Okay. I focus on sales, marketing, and partnerships.
I'm also focusing on partnership and onboarding societies and basically growing our model across the continent.
And then just in terms of the model around the funding, how are you going to penetrate the South African market to actually get buy-in from the banks, etc., to help you processing that? The financial model, that is, yeah.
So I was going to make sure I understand the question. Would you mind repeating that again, please?
How are you going to make sure that your currency is actually accepted locally?
Got you. So that really does come down to local payment partners. And so folks that are already licensed, have established working relationships and built trust with the banks. We're also part of an open payments community. And so what we would like to do is be able to connect these creators here in South Africa to a broader market, which means that we're ultimately going to have to deal with payment partners that can help us with cross-border payments. So if a creator in Joburg drops a track or a piece of content that somebody in Brooklyn or Lagos or wherever should be able to engage and support that creator directly, and that living directly in their wallet, helping us with financial inclusion.
So do you have those payment partners currently in the country?
We do.
Thank you.
Okay, just explain to me from the campus perspective. I think you mentioned 400,000 students. Is that right? So how did you get to them? How did you access them?
We're using a bottom-up model, so we're basically getting students to be the key drivers of our initiatives on campuses. So we've created these digital and creative societies on university campuses, working with both the SRC and university management, which basically gives us access to over 2,800 universities in Africa. And then we've also partnered with Smart Africa, and then to basically push adoption of our platform through different governments in different countries.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for your pitch. You may leave.
Thank you.
Monique, thoughts?
I don't know how you're going to compete with existing social media platforms like TikTok. So are you creating a version of TikTok? And why would TikTok not appeal to the university students? I guess having studios at the campuses is a great entry point. Having connections with the student unions is a good entry point. But for me, it's still going to be like, why you?
So the way that I understand it, and this is part of the problem, is that in TikTok, I put my content up and I load it up and people can watch it. In this context, I create content and it is used in an advert or a music video or something else, my content is consumed commercially by somebody else as part of their commercial things that they're doing. That's how I understand the difference between TikTok, which is a B2C, which where the consumer consumes it, and so you would get revenue from how many people view that, versus I take some beautiful photograph or piece of B-roll and I put that up, and some producer in Nigeria can use that. That's how I see the difference, but I could be wrong, and that's maybe possibly part of why the pitch isn't so strong, is that we don't know who's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know where the commercial value is in that, right? Because you're still dependent on the other side to actually purchase that.
Yes.
And there's still royalties involved. So,
your thoughts?
Yeah, I must admit I don't understand the business well enough, but I think it's just because it is, as they say, rebel, creative, whatever. I also don't understand why such a huge focus on campuses and universities, because the creative economy, I mean, there's so many people doing music and doing, that are not on campus, but they seem to have zoomed in particularly on campuses. I don't understand that. And apart from, I mean, to your point, I mean, if you just contrast it with TikTok, I mean, that's where, I mean, I think that's generated a lot of creatives and all of that. And there doesn't seem to be a problem with payment. Because otherwise there wouldn't be this growth. So that's why I was asking, what is the problem they're really trying to solve? Then they say they're trying to grow the creative economy. So, yeah, for me, there are lots of unknowns, and it's unclear to me how the money would be used and what is, like I say, and the risks. I mean, I thought they would go more, okay, they talked about regulation and they solving the risks with partners, but I would be very nervous.
Okay, I think it's time to get scoring.
Snake Nation, round two.
Round two.
Round two, my brother. How did it go today in comparison to round one of the pitches? Let's start with you.
It was tough.
Out there.
Yeah, it was really tough, but we had more time.
Yes.
It was good, and we learned a lot, man, in the past few weeks.
Absolutely.
And coming up to this moment, how has your relationship with your mentor, Karl, has it changed? Has it grown? Have you gone closer? Have you gone wiser?
No, I think a lot of wiser. I think he delivered the feedback to us, and so I think we tried our best to incorporate the judges' previous feedback, and then as well, just really helping us understand our numbers better, just to articulate those to investors. We weren't able to get to our full financial statistics today, but we were ready.
Do you think the questions were more difficult than round one?
Yes.
Really? How so, Karl?
Well, I think looking at the judges sort of already having seen the pitch
Yeah.
the first time, and then had an opportunity to kind of think about what they wanted to ask us. And so I think some of the regulatory questions that are involved with any type of fintech were some of the things that, I don't think we're anticipating, because I think, we were really more anticipating market share and, so forth. Like, how do you, capture market share? How do you roll out your network? And so, so it's stuff that we had prepared for, but we just didn't anticipate it coming in round two. And so, yeah, it was, they kept us on our toes. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Going forward, what has been the biggest learning of just standing in front of people anywhere and just pitching your business? What have you learned?
I think from this program, there's a lot that we have learned. I think there's a whole lot of things that we're going to adjust on our business. Thanks to our mentor. Our guide was fantastic. And just, man, we are very thankful for this opportunity.
Yeah.
All the best. I'm going to leave it just like that. All the best. That was tough to watch. Tshitso seemed to struggle there, and I can only imagine that we'll see that reflected in their scores tonight. And the judges didn't hold back. They fired some tough questions at them. Understandably so, because remember that round two is about growth. The judges are looking for evidence that each contestant has listened to their feedback and adapted their pitches accordingly. Has Cate polished her pitch enough to win the spot in the semi-finals? Or will Tshitso and Karl take that coveted spot? Let's find out. Judge Nonkubela, Judge Alon, Judge Monique, this is round 2. I can feel the energy, I can feel the tension in the entrepreneurs. But this round 2, is about improvement. Have they improved their pitches? Judge Alon.
No.
Judge Monique?
Slightly.
Judge Nonkubela?
Not enough.
Okay, let's fine tune that a little bit. Let's start off with Cate Olifant. Judge Alon, Judge Monique, you both honed in on the training programs of her business. Is it effective enough? Are you distributing or are you upskilling? Why is that question so important in round 2? Judge Monique.
I think it's very noble what she's doing.
Yes.
It's very noble to say, and yes, the youth unemployment rate is very high.
Yes.
We know that. But how is that contributing to your bottom line? Is it a hook? Is it a hook for government, who are your major investors? Or how is it actually moving your business forward? So I think it's just about not just dropping the taglines that people want to hear,
Absolutely.
but understanding how that actually impacts your bottom line.
Do you want to add to that, Judge Alon?
Yeah, I think what I see with many businesses is they talk about unemployment. And once again, to Monique's point, it's a noble thing to do. And
Yes.
if we can, we should. But if it's diverting your focus and it's not true,
Oof.
okay, then it's a problem. So I think what we were testing for is it diverting your focus, or is it creating a flywheel effect? Is it improving your business, or is it actually not true?
Yeah.
In other words, you're saying things that we want to hear, or is it diverting you from your real business, which is selling paint? That's what we were trying to ascertain.
Judge Nonkubela, let's move on to Snake Nation. Was there a big jump or improvement or no improvement from round 1 pitch and round 2 pitch?
I don't think there was enough of an improvement,
Sure.
both in the way they communicated their business, who they are, what they do, the problem they solve, and even the risks that they face. So for me, they were still not convincing enough.
It was a shaky start for the duo.
Yeah.
You asked the biggest risk. Why did you ask that question?
You have to understand what the biggest risk is to your business so you can mitigate the risk. If you don't understand what the biggest risk is, you can't invest in a business where the investors or the founders are not aware what might, come back and bite them.
Just like a snake.
Yeah.
Just like a snake.
Just like a snake.
You asked them how are they going to access, Judge Alon, how are they going to reach those campus students? Why?
Well, they mentioned a number. They said
Yes.
400,000. So, as investors, we get told a lot of things. And we're supposed to just hear the number, get impressed, and move on. But this isn't about just hearing numbers. So I wanted to understand, they said 400,000. So tell me you've really spoken to 400,000 people.
Yeah.
And then you understand from the answer that it was through a union of student union, African Student Union, with 2,800 universities. So that might be all the universities added up equals 400,000. And so what's going on in my head is, okay, so you've got a partnership with somebody, but
Yeah.
have you spoken to 400,000? Do you really have you really had that access?
Thank you so much, judges. So the elimination round is up next. Which business is going home and which business is staying?
Cate, Tshitso, Karl, welcome. All right, so I have the unenviable task right now of eliminating one of the businesses. That's the nature of this competition. And I just want to remind you the lens with which we use in order to score and to make the decision. We're sitting here not as people listening to how well you pitched, all the lovely words you said. We're looking at this as investors. Would we invest 650,000 Rand in your business? And if we do, what impact will that have in terms of accelerating the growth and impact of your business? So that's the lens that we use. We've looked at your numbers, we've listened to your previous pitches, and now we've listened to this round right now. So Cate, let's start with you in terms of the positive. On the positive side, really good use of the 650,000 Rand. It was a well thought through, and we felt it was a very pragmatic use of the money. We sensed that you understand your business as investors. We want to know if we're investing in your business that you know your business, and that came across that you know your business. You know your business well. You know, we also want to know that you are an entrepreneur, that it's not just that you know the business, you can be the accountant that knows the numbers, but are you an entrepreneur? Can you withstand the ups and downs that comes with the entrepreneurial journey? And we've certainly felt that you are an entrepreneur. But on the negative side, when you were sitting here, you know, and telling us about your business, when you were pitching, you kept using the term and another thing, and another thing, and another thing. You were giving us a shopping list. That's how you were pitching. You weren't talking if you were connected to the pitch, as if you were connected to the business at all. You were just trying to memorize something, and you were just going, and that was number 2 and number 3 and number 4. So you disconnected from us in that sense. And then there was a contradiction that one of the judges picked up, which is true. You spoke about the fact that your industry is very competitive at one point, and then you spoke about the fact that you're in an environment that's not competitive. So which one is it? Are you in an environment that's not competitive, or is it very competitive? Trust me, it's very competitive. So which one is it? So now, what else is a contradiction or not true in your pitch? And number 3, you never spoke about your product, or very little about your product in this pitch. It was all about the training and the training of youth. And still then, you didn't connect us to what's the advantage of doing that. You just touched on it very slightly and implied things that we didn't get. And it was only in the questioning that we sort of got where you were going with it. So overall, a really, really not such a good pitch, you know, in the second round. To the gentlemen, Tshitso and Karl, a really, really noble cause that you have. And it comes across in your pitch, the sincerity of your relationship with what you do. It comes across that you actually care about what you do. You want to enable the creative industry. It comes across that way. It's a very, very big idea. And just on the negative of that, the question as investors is 650,000 Rand just a drop in the ocean in order to realize that big, big vision that you have? And it is a big vision. And what also comes across is, you know, just generally around the last 2 rounds is the professionalism. You understand your business. We also get a sense that you understand the mechanics of the current business that you are running. On the negative side, Tshitso, yeah, you stumbled bad, you know, and it was heart-wrenching for the judges to watch that. And you eventually stood up again, you know, but that certainly knocked off a lot of points. And just from an investor perspective, there's 2 big problems that you were solving. Nokubela keeps asking, what problem are you solving? It doesn't come across that strong in terms of what is the big problem that you're solving. But if you scratch through it, it's actually 2 big problems you're trying to solve. One is the payment problem, and the other is the access to market problem. Those are 2 big, big problems that you're trying to solve. And they are huge problems. And the question is, are they too big or are we thinking too small? Which one is it? The commercials still don't make sense to us. And of course, you have the crypto stigma to overcome, which as non-crypto people, perhaps we are too biased against the fear around crypto. And so you didn't pacify. And then, Tshitso, you kept, when you were pitching, you kept deferring to Karl. You kept looking at Karl, like, Karl, am I right? Karl, am I right? Which took your power away. So, if I summarize both of you, and my view is that neither of you improved this round. Some of the judges felt you slightly improved. They're the nice judges. I felt you went backward. Both of you went backward. But one company is going to stay and one company is going to leave. Which one is it? The company, the business that's going to go through to the next round is Akani Paints. Gentlemen, you may leave. Thank you. All right, Cate, you heard the feedback. No shopping lists in the next round. We want to hear more about the business. We want to hear more about what you're going to do with the money, what it's going to do for the business. And next round is going to be really, really tough. So there's a massive improvement. Otherwise, you're not going to make it to the final. Take that advice, and we'll see you in the next round. You may leave.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks. The judges don't think either pitcher showed enough improvement. But this is a competition, and one of them had to go through. Congratulations, Cate. You're officially our first 2025 Nedbank Pitch and Polish semi-finalists. Tshitso and Karl, I know this must be disappointing. But remember, you made it into the top 8 of South Africa's most competitive entrepreneurial pitching program. That's a major achievement, and we know we'll see great things from you. Over here at Nedbank Pitch and Polish, we believe entrepreneurship should be celebrated and rewarded at every level, including those who watch, vote, and engage from home. Yes, I'm talking about you, our loyal fans, to say thank you to you for your continued support of the show. We're gifting one of you a 5,000 Rand Avo Super Shop voucher, courtesy of Nedbank. If you've been paying attention, answering this question should be pretty easy. How long do the contestants have to pitch today? How long do the contestants have to pitch today? Now, all you have to do is WhatsApp your answer and your name to 0718026981 before midnight. All correct answers will go into a lucky draw and we'll select a winner at random. Keep an eye on our social media later this week to see who won. It could be you. Whew, that's it for tonight's episode. Next Tuesday at 7 p.m., 2 more contestants step up to the mic, but only one will walk away with a semi-final spot. Who will it be? From me, Khubi, and the entire Nedbank Pitch and Polish team, thanks for watching and good night. Mwah.
The highlight, I would say, it is not an easy competition. Every competitor or every entrepreneur here, they deserve it. So for me, having it's a blessing. I'm not taking this lightly, and it's for my team out there. Thank you very much, my team, my staff. Love you so much.
Not everyone gets what you're doing when you're trying to do something big. And so I think oftentimes people kind of live in a space of comfort zone. And so I think we obviously had our own stumbles and so forth, but I think ultimately when you look at what we're here to build, it's significant and it's needed.